Hey everyone! In today's tutorial, I'm going to spend a few minutes comparing the new Distress Oxide inks with Distress inks on a fun birthday card for my friend Susie. I have here 4 of the new Distress Oxide inks: Broken China, Fossilized Amber, Spice Marmalade, and Warm Lipstick. I'm going to do the technique that is called wrinkle-free distress. It's a really old technique and a great way to make backgrounds with any kind of ink. You don't need Distress Oxide inks for this. Works great with all sorts of inks. And what you do to create wrinkle-free distress is you just apply the ink pads directly to your craft mat. I have found you don't get as good a result with freezer paper, but you can do this with other non-porous surfaces. I just really happen to think that the Ranger Craft Mat does the best. Now, when you spray these inks with water, you can see what Tim Holtz refers to as the oxidation effect. They instantly sort of develop a white, bright finish to them, and water really changes the way that they look. So after you've sprayed them with water and picked them up on your cardstock, and you can see how beautifully these blend together to make a fun background. Now you're going to dry them, and as they dry, the chalky oxidized effect becomes more apparent. And what's really super luxurious is the way these inks feel when they're dry. Your cardstock is really soft, and you kind of want to pet it like a pair of LuLaRoe leggings. These might be actually the LuLaRoe inks of the ink pads because they are so soft and fun. So after you dry each layer, if you pick up more of the ink off your craft mat, you'll get kind of these discrete little blobs that are a hallmark of the wrinkle-free distress technique, and it allows the inks to layer really beautifully. So you can see how that looks here. That's the Oxide version, but I wanted to take the exact same distress ink colors and do the same technique just so that you could see the difference between these two inks. So I'm going to go through the same process, apply the ink directly to my admittedly somewhat pathetic looking Ranger Craft mat. I do have another one coming this week. I understand that this one looks abused, and I'm sorry for that, but I do use all my stuff. It's not a museum over here. So I'm spraying these inks also to activate them with water. The difference that you can see right away is they don't change color on your mat as you activate them with water. So that oxidation effect is really apparent when you put water on those inks. Now with these inks, you can see there's a lot of transparency. So you're seeing through one color to another color. I'm adding just the little dots and texture here. I like to just clean up my mat with the cardstock as the last step. I'll do a little sped up drawing for you and dry the back. The back, of course, gets messy when you do this technique because it's on your mat, and your mat's a little bit messy. But here you can really see the difference. Exact same colors, but you have that beautiful, cloudy, sort of moody look on the left with a lot of opacity and what I consider to be drama. And then on the right, you have the classic distress dye ink look of transparent layers that are a little more vivid and bright. Now I'm using my mirror image stamp set up in my mini Misty with a sentiment from the stamp set Super Duper by Stampin' Up. The mirror image stamp is by So Susie Stamps. That's whose birthday it is today, and we're doing a surprise blog hop for her. So I stamped my sentiment onto the mirror image rubber in basic gray a few times until I got enough ink on there. And then I'm taking the Oxide version of my background and transferring that reversed sentiment onto the background. So this is going to give me a little bit of a shadow. And I love doing the shadows in gray and then doing the main image in black. It really, once you get enough layers of black on there, it really shows you the difference between the original image and the perceived reflected image. So I'll stamp this a couple of more times. Because my cardstock is a little bit warped, even though it's Whisper White cardstock, all that ink and water have made it a little bit warped, and so I need to stamp it a few times to get the nice crisp black contrast that I want. So I'm just using my Hero ink cube here to get that ink on there. And then I will call that one finished. So here's the finished birthday card for Susie. Happy birthday, Susie. And I hope you've enjoyed this quick look at Distress Oxides. Thanks so much for watching.